Hello, welcome my bald bearded friends. Today's video will be my 500th video. I'm planning something quite big, if possible, for my 1000th. Still will take some time, of course. But for my 500th, I thought it would be nice to make a video about my oldest perfume. And not in the sense that when it was released, like all the way to the 30s or something like that, but you know, the one I possessed the longest, and that will be CK1, Klein One. I received this one as a gift for Christmas about 14 years ago. It's a 200 milliliter bottle, and as you can see, I about 1/3, something like that, perhaps a little bit less. I don't know, but it is quite a hefty chunk out of it. As you can imagine, I don't own the box or whatever anymore. So yeah, this is a nice citrusy greenish fragrance, which is like an ultimate early summer kind of fragrance. Summer, spring. It has some powdery white flowery vibes to it, which under the right circumstances can even smell like a little bit like an soapy vibe. And in certain times it really reminds me of John Verwatel's Artisan Pure. I made a video about it. Also a nice white floral men's fragrance. But no, at the right climate control, I would say that most of the time it will smell like a citrusy green kind of fragrance. It was actually released a year before I was born. It was released in '94, of course by Calvin Klein, and produced, or how would you say it? Yeah, made by the all-star perfumier Alberto Marias, of course, really known for Acqua di Gio, of course. And it doesn't really smell like Acqua di Gio. It has some more of greenish tints in this fragrance, but overall I would say you would still pick up on the style of the perfumer if you're into, you know, into that. Well, there are some things I really like about this fragrance, and there are some things I really dislike about this fragrance. What I really like about this fragrance is the greenish tints in this fragrance, which, to in my opinion, elevates it from a citrusy fragrance to a citrusy fragrance with a little bit more depth to it. However, on the other hand, it also has a little bit of that laundry detergent kind of vibe, and that's not something I enjoy that much, especially if you overspray this fragrance. It's not really a strong fragrance, but still, if you spray it like 8 times, it can be a little bit like nauseating. All right, let's start off with the notes, or at least the notes as they are presented on Fragrantica. The top notes of lemon, green notes, bergamot, mandarin orange, pineapple, cardamom, and papaya. And again, you really get the green notes, you really get the citrusy vibe, of the lemon, the mandarin orange, you got, and the bergamot, of course. It definitely has a little bit of sweetness right away in the opening, but and a little bit of spiciness, a real fake hint of it, like in a backdrop But honestly, it has a faintest bit of sweetness on Fragrantica, say the papaya. Yeah, I don't really pick up on it. It has some sweetness, but again, that also could come from the mandarin orange. But I guess just it's a nice statement, like papaya. Well, interesting. Mid notes of lily of the valley, a jasmine, a violet, rose, nutmeg, orris root, and freesia. And again, as I've stated before, you really get the white floral vibe of this fragrance combined with the greenness. Was there more to say? You get a bit of the rosiness, and honestly, the rose note in this fragrance is a little bit like the rose note in those toilet freshener sprays. Yeah, the rose note in this fragrance, to my nose at least, is not that appealing. But again, you got the lily of the valley, you got the jasmine, you got all the white floral vibes, a little bit of the orris, but like more in the background, not really coming forward to it, which makes it a nice white floral-ish clean green kind of fragrance. But again, the rose notes could be quite off-putting if you really pick up on it. The base notes. The base notes are green accords, musk cedar green tea, sandalwood, oak moss, and amber. Personally, most of the time, I really pick up on the green notes, the musk, and the green tea. A little bit of oak moss, but not that much. It has a little bit of old school vibe, like in the deep dry down. Like on the end of the day, you're gonna smell, no, perhaps oak moss. But it's a very green fragrance. So the green accord and also, of course, the green tea really provide you with that vibe. Longevity and sillage of this fragrance. Well, Calvin Klein fragrances are, of course, not really known for their longevity and sillage, really their performance, if you will. So it's a bit hard to say, of course. It also depends on the weather, on the humidity, etc., 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 amount of sprays, whatever you do. I will still say for a couple of sprays, you still get a solid 5-6 hours out of it. Ciao, however, is quite bad in my opinion. I of course live in the Netherlands, so it's not that often that warm outside, so you don't really get the push because of the accelerated evaporation on the skin because of the warm air, etc., etc. So these kinds of fragrances, clean green, citrusy, a little bit musk, don't really have that great of a sillage or performance in the normal Dutch weathers. Perhaps when it becomes quite hot here, it might perform a little bit better, but still, at the normal circumstances right here, it doesn't really perform that well. If you live in a country with a warmer climate, this could very well. It's still not the best performer, I guess, but it still could very well be performing better than over here. And then you get a nice clean green, bitty musk, citruses kind of fragrance with a little bit more performance for a real cheap price. I mean, you can get a bottle for like 15 euros, something like that. And then also the big bottle, or perhaps the 100 milliliters. But yeah, it's a real cheap fragrance. So if you like those bit white floral, green, clean, musky fragrances with tea note in it. Definitely check it out. This is very much an unisex fragrance, and if you like your really masculine kind of fragrance, old school masculine fragrances, this is not one for you. Also, if you just like the spicy, sweet fragrances, also not for you. But if you want a fragrance which is nice in warmer weather, definitely check it out. For this is, yeah, it's not talked about it anymore, of that much at least. But it's still, for the price, it is actually quite nice performance, nice scent. Could be a bit underwhelming, especially if you're really into fragrances, but as a fragrance you wear to the gym, or like, when it's a little bit warm outside, this could still be a real nice fragrance. And this was the 500th video on my channel. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really did enjoy it, for I was thinking for the longest time of when should I really review this fragrance, for it's been in my possession for such a long time. I'm glad I did the 500th video with it. The thousandth will be a road trip, I guess, but that will take a while. Have a nice day. Ciao. Ciao.